AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built into. That's why it's no surprise that more than 85% of the Fortune 500 use the ServiceNow AI platform. While other platforms duct tape tools together, ServiceNow seamlessly unifies people, data, workflows, and AI, connecting every corner of your business. And with AI agents working together autonomously, anyone in any department can focus on the work that matters most. Learn how ServiceNow puts AI to work for people at ServiceNow.com. Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. Subscribe. Congrats to Elena Rybakina. Went out and earned a victory. Hard fought. Like it's strange because Sabalenka, people are going to say, oh, she's losing tight matches, and like Sinner lost a tight match. And like my first thought is like, yeah, if you're in the semis of finals every time, playing the best of that tournament and the best on earth all of the time, that's kind of what happens, right? Like Rybakina went out and just won this. A couple of things that stood out: only 3 breaks of serve. Like there's, it felt like breaking was at such it felt like almost like a guys match a little bit, right? Like where someone got a break and then they were able to hold on the whole time. It wasn't as if every service game was at like 30 all. Best 2 servers in the game doing what? Holding serve a bunch. So it was very interesting. I thought Sabalenka, it's tough to criticize at all. These matches when people are playing so well are just won at the tiniest of margins. And like if we're maybe smothered a couple forehands in the third set, I think that's the side that maybe goes a little bit more than the other. But what I was impressed with Rybakina, as well as just, she's not the fastest person on the planet, but remember we talked about like the range and being able to hit in stride? She's really good at that. So it probably makes her coverage feel faster than her actual foot speed. So even if you get her to the corner, she kind of runs through the shot and is able to inject pace. Now, when she plays defense, it's pretty much always cross court. And I thought Sabalenka would kind of pick on that a little bit. But when you're doing it with such force, it doesn't really matter if the person knows where it's going if you're executing with pace, right? Not just like different because she goes cross and creates more angle, but the same with Novak. It's like down through the court. On TV, it looks like you should be able to go after it. And in reality, it's not one that you kind of choose to fire on. I'm going to say this. I don't want to be hyperbolic, and I guard against it. And I think it's a legitimate point. Serena is the best female server of all time. And I don't know that you would find anyone with an IQ bigger than her waist size who disagrees with that. And I think Rybakina is quickly maybe top 3 or 4 ever. Ever. Yeah.
Okay.
So a couple things. The ability to hit all 4 spots on your serve, right? So deuce, wide, middle, add, wide, middle. And also she gets a lot of kick on her second serve, right? So it's not as if it's a big first serve and then once you get a second serve, you're eating or you're cooking, right? Like that does, like Lindsay, and she would tell you this, Lindsay had a great serve, but loved to hit the slice, right? Like loved repeatedly. And I think Rybakina maybe hits the corners a little bit easier and has a kick a little bit more. Yeah, I think so.
There was a graphic on TV, according to Megan, our newsletter writer. She said that Rybakina's second serve kick in the ad side bounces a full foot higher than Sabalenka's, and she hits it a little wider.
Yeah, I think.
What does that mean?
That means I think she has more of a natural kick serve. Like you either have a big nasty kick where you pronate outwards, right? And that creates this thing where it's checking at you and then it takes a turn. Right, so you have to time it. Sabalenka hits a little bit of a kick, but her second serve, not dissimilar to like Novak's. Like if you did that stat today with Alcaraz and Novak, Alcaraz would be 2 feet higher.
Wow.
But
okay.
but that's not the metric that matters, because Novak uses his kick as like a changeup to the one where he runs 108, 109 into the body on the second. So Novak basically tries to turn you into a T-Rex on the second serve return.
So he's trying to jam you up in the inside.
Correct. And it's running into you and a little bit quicker, right? Whereas Carlos wants it's going to be 10, 12 miles an hour slower, but it hits and goes away from you. So the challenge is, instead of Novak returning off of Novak or Sabalenka, where you're kind of like pinching the inside and then moving against it, Carlos and Rybakina want to extend the court, especially on the ad side. So it's a kick away to where you're up and away out of the strike zone.
Right now, Andy has his hands over his shoulders.
Yeah, so for those listening, it's like, I have my T-Rex arms when I'm returning Novak most of the time, because he's running it in on the body, or I'm slightly extended, but it's waist level. And Carlos/Rybakina, my hands would be up above my shoulder, and I'd kind of be reaching, because that little jump, the kick means it's coming at you and then it kicks sideways. Right. So it's different styles of serve. So it's not as if Rybakina and Sabalenka are trying to accomplish the same thing on a second serve based on the strengths of their second serve. Right. So that's not surprising to me at all. Like, I maybe even thought it would be more. And if you run that same stat back, it'll be outsized for Carlos tomorrow as far as just height differential on the kick. It just means what they do well on a second serve is different. Kick serves are more prominent on the men's side. You see it way more with the racket work and the kind of the pronation outwards. Rybakina has an elite kick serve. Like, it causes problem. You remember during the Jess Pegula match, Pegula went over to Mark Merklin, her coach, and was like, I just can't get a good hit on it. I feel like I'm searching for it. Right. So kick doesn't come in where you can, like, it doesn't sizzle into where you just time it and pull and then you're into it. It, like, Marty used to do it to me and just drive me crazy. He hit it like 82 miles an hour and it would kick. But when it got up there, you all of a sudden had to create all of your own pace, right? As opposed to kind of using the pace of a serve. And I think that's what Rybakina does well in the offset, with this like bomb first serve and then this kick second serve, means that you're not really getting in much of a rhythm on your returns, because the pacing is very different. So I assume, Mike, that means that JW won our bracket. Our congratulations in order?
I think congratulations are not in order.
Whoa, but he picked Rybakina to win the tournament.
I know. And my friend, you beat the group. You finished with 1,752 points in the women's bracket. JW came out with 1,617. We might need to run back the scores. We might need to check with Bracket Baron. This doesn't seem right.
It seems great. I mean, I get it. The bonus points and everything you did. I mean, let's not research this result too hard.
Yeah. No, we don't need to call in the FBI.
This is like JW. This is amazing. So this is like the opposite of my entire life. So I lost the final, but then won the big prize.
Yeah. This is it. This is the opposite of your entire professional existence.
Is this what Federer feels like? Oh man, JW, you fought your heart out. You really played great. I have a lot of respect for you and what you brought to the table this week. I was able just to kind of get the win in the end, just because I'm a little bit better. I don't know. Is that what you do? Is this?
Well, he's not here.
What do I do with my hands?
He's not here to give his loser speech, which would be customary for tennis.
Gosh, I can't wait for the recap
show.
I can't wait for the recap show.
Congratulations to Teddy Bear. That's no joke. Teddy Bear, 2,043 points, is the big winner in the WTA bracket.
Sweet. Yeah. And I'm assuming Teddy Bear had Rybakina?
Let me click in there. Teddy Bear had Rybakina over Sabalenka. That is correct.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Teddy Bear kind of crushed. I mean, we'll go through some of these brackets later, but Teddy Bear had I believe had all the picks correct round of 16 in.
Come on.
That's what it looks like.
That's pretty fun. I like that. Teddy Bear we should have a bracket quick serve where we discuss their strategies from the fans and how they march through the brackets. So Mike, I remember us doing the recap show at the end of 2025.
The WTA recap special where we ripped through the top 20.
I think we went through every player kind of in the top 20. We spent some time on Rybakina. Mm-hmm. I'd like to instead of just regurgitating and repeating myself here, we should put a From the Vault. By the way, people are kind of into the From the Vaults, like the old footage that we it's time relevant now. We put one out about Novak yesterday, which is fun. It was from like our 5th show where you and I were doing it from like a closet.
Yeah, it was ages ago, and somehow how Novak is still playing in semis. It was before he was just
my favorite is on the my favorite is From the Vault. Like, I don't think everyone realizes that it's footage from 2 years ago where we're just describing what kind of makes him so effective. Like, you idiot. That's not even what was happening. I'm like, it was from 2 years ago.
Can I? Yeah. So you said that Rybakina, just a few weeks ago, feels like a lifetime ago. You said that she was comparative to like the no-brainer number 1 overall pick, right?
Yep.
Like just based on physicality, based on skill set.
Yeah.
You said that she would win a slam this year. We did not have to wait very long.
No.
Now, my question to you is, are we going to see a second one in her future this year?
We very well could. I mean, I think I guess my point was the conversation, and rightfully so, based on the last 3 years, since maybe Rybakina won Wimbledon in 2022, and there's been a lot of off-court stuff. And by the way, like I think it needs saying, and we'll get back to this point, but like old coach comes back in after being kind of jettisoned, comes back in and she wins again. Now, I don't know the dynamics of the interpersonal relationship. What I do know is that her best tennis has been played when Vukov is present. It seems like there has been a change in conversation and the stylings of those conversations. So I'm happy to allow for, I'm not happy to allow, that's self-important. I'm happy for growth in a relationship, and I hope that's settled and okay. Certainly you can't argue with the results that they've had together. I mean, she's just playing better when he's around, and you can have opinions about a million other things, and I'm sure you will. I'm not saying everything's perfect. I'm saying the results are there when he is around as her coach. Many layers of which we're not going to get to in a recap episode. But yeah, Rybakina, it's based on the last 3 years. The conversation is, Sabalenka Świątek, most consistent, graded multiple slams. Coco in that conversation with 2 slams. And my point was simply like, I view Rybakina when healthy and settled in that group, like easily.
Mm-hmm. She has 10 consecutive wins over top 10.
Yeah.
players.
I mean, but like, she's not scared to play the big players, right? She has the temperament to go deep in majors. Like, I've never seen someone more understated when winning a major. If I would have ever won my second major, I would have like, you would have seen 17 cartwheels.
She's icy.
I kind of respect it. It's like,
I dig it.
It's like scoring a touchdown in the NFL and just handing the ball to the ref with no reaction. It's kind of cold.
Yeah.
Like in a kind of a badass way.
But like it's the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And you're just like,
thanks.
You just go like,
hey, thanks, coach.
You just go full Barry Sanders. It's pretty sweet. But I view her in that, as far as talent, as far as game, as far as when you're analyzing matchups, if she's in a good place, if she's healthy, it was a little bit more of a reach 2 months ago than it was the day she wins a slam, but she's in that group. Like, yeah, and you can argue like she's the favorite in those matchups, a decent amount of the time. She gives Sabalenka problems because she can like out Sabalenka. She can serve huge. She can go through the court. Right now, Sabalenka does it more consistently as of now. Now, it seems like Rybakina is building that consistency with the year-end finals and now in Australia. Is this a moment where she becomes like a runaway freight train and has like one of those runs for 18 months that we've seen kind of throughout history? She's capable. This is not like we'll see what happens. This is are we building to, is this 5-6 time major winner? I don't think that's crazy. I think the Frenches are going to be her least favorite surface. She still can play on it. She's, almost beaten She did well in Rome but she's already won Wimbledon. Some people don't like playing in New York. I don't think she's had her best results in New York yet, but she knows how to play on hard. I don't know about the rest of it.
Clearly.
Yeah. I mean, she lost a tight Aussie Open final before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't an outlier of a result. This isn't like they got the one. Yes, celebrate. This is like, oh, this might turn it. Like, she's going to be in the running for number one in the world this year. Also, you can mark this.
Yeah, she'll be number 3 now. Monday.
But Iga and Sabalenka, even with all of Coco's success, have kind of had that like locked, right? Like, Sabalenka went wire to wire last year, and she's so consistent. It's really hard to make a dent in her progress when she's making semis or finals every single week. And I don't say this lightly. I think Rybakina, if she plays 20 tournaments and is generally healthy, she's going to be in the conversation for number one in the world.
I love stats like this. I hate to keep hitting you with stats, but I'm scrolling through ESPN's kind of updates here, and it says Rybakina now improves to 9-6 in her career against WTA number ones, which is the best record by any woman since rankings were introduced in 1975.
Is that true?
With a minimum of 5 matches.
Well, that's a little deceiving.
Yeah.
Because like all the years Serena was number one, she doesn't get in that. It's kind of a little bit of a penalty for being number one. So that's a little bit. It's a little.
I mean, it says it proves 9-6.
I know, but like also, it's like I'm like my mind automatically goes to Serena, like Steffi. Like I'm like, oh, they were always number one.
They were always number one.
Correct. Yeah. So awesome stat, and it proves the point of Rybakina is like on the level, right? It's not like this isn't a huge upset to me. You know, and based on a 1-to-1 matchup now, over the next 3 months, is Rybakina going to lose third round where Sabalenka goes? That's what history has shown us so far. Now, does that change? I think that's the interesting conversation. You know, is she going to go from Grand Slam winner to contender for number one? Right? I don't think this result shocks anyone. I really don't. You know, you take her and going into the tournaments like Świątek, Sabalenka, Rybakina. I think Sabalenka is the most consistent, the most reliable. And also, like, by the way, can we chat quickly about Sabalenka? She's lost some, like, really, when she loses, she doesn't get, like, it's always competitive. She has, you know, she could have 8 slams. If you look at the scores, and it would be a curious exercise if you went, okay, if over the course of the last 5 years, if 9 points were different, would she have 8 slams?
I mean, she was up 3-0 in the third, right?
Yep.
And then in a blink, she even said, she was like, it felt like, she said this in the press conference. She said, I have regrets, you know, when you lead 3-0 and then it felt like in a few seconds it was 3-4 and I was down with a break. So it was very fast. And she's just like, great tennis from her. You know, maybe not smart B, but, you know, today I'm the loser, maybe tomorrow I'm a winner.
Hey, and if we're allowing for progress, Aryna post-match and Aryna press from maybe previous times that she's lost big matches. Criticize all you want when people make mistakes. Also, allow for progress when they've learned from those mistakes. Right? Like that. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Don't forget, but just acknowledge like progress in real time in a heartbreaking moment. Congrats to Elena Rybakina. Let's run that back from the vault segment because I think people are kind of at least responding to those a little bit. There's some clip somewhere, if I remember correctly, guys. So we'll get that out. I don't think it's super long, but from a couple months ago, kind of previewing 2026, and I think it came to fruition pretty quickly. I would also like to apologize, or not apologize, just send my sympathies to JW for not winning.
I thought you were going to hit us with a Conor McGregor. I'd like to apologize to absolutely nobody.
No, I would hit you with the Andreeva. I'd like to thank me. But all right, so I didn't want to preview Alcaraz and Novak yesterday too quickly on the heels of that magic day, like those just titanic battles that they had. I guess we're at that point. I do want to say right up front, the caveat being, I don't know what the situation is with the cramp ductor. I don't know, like, recovery times for, like, there's a lot that we won't know and that we're not going to get told today. There is no reason for either of these guys to give an update. If they give an update to us, they're giving an update to each other. There's no reason for that to happen. Right. And so and also like we're not great at nuance. Like, could he have an adductor and then have cramps also? Yep. That could be. My simple point was there were cramps involved, and people are like, no, you, how dare you? I'm like, okay, you don't take pickle juice for an adductor. Sorry,
Pickle
you
juice.
don't. No. Pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
Pickle juice. Hit him with the clip. That's a good one.
Pickle juice.
Pickle juice. Pickle juice.
Okay, so let's assume that we don't know how the recovery is going. We have to assume that a younger body is going to recover better than an older body if the adductor is under control, which it seemed like by the end, if you have a tear in your groin, it doesn't get better, right? So I think there's probably some discomfort in the adductor. This is my best guess. I'm not a doctor. This is just purely from the sequence of events and my best guess, right? So I don't know. I'm guessing, educated guess maybe from having been in the rooms, right? The adductor doesn't get better over time if it's like torn or there's a major injury trauma situation, right? It seemed like most of the stuff he was dealing with heat conditions and cramping, right? Pickle juice was there, which means that he was either having something or protecting against something he was feeling. Okay. Pickle juice is great. You don't take it if your elbow hurts. You don't take it if you have a groin pull. It doesn't do anything like that. You take it very, 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 very specifically to help overcome cramps in a quicker way, right?
Yeah, I mean, we saw Medi do it earlier in the tournament too. Like he was like midpoint, he came over and grabbed a pickle juice from his coach's box, right?
What did he grab?
Pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
But correct if I'm wrong, right? It's that little like kind of, it's a small, it looks like a 5-hour energy shot that these guys.
Yeah, and then there's different cramp products and way. There's in the last 3 or 4 years, there's been like players have been using it way more. Like you rarely saw it. It wasn't available in like an organized fashion. It was like if someone was doing it and we were on tour, they were like going to the grocery store and bringing out one of those booty jars, one of those.
They're just pulling all the pickles out.
All right, so let's assume they're both going to be struggling a little bit. Carlos had a 6 or 7 hour head start on recovery, which if you think about it in like a 48-hour sequence and way less than that for Novak, that's a big chunk of that, right? 6 hours on 40, like that's a significant advantage for Carlos. If we're assuming like cramps, if you have 2 full days, you can kind of manage that, I think. Like the wear and tear from the matches, I'd probably give a little bit more credit to that. We're not going to be dealing with heat, right? This isn't going to be some scorcher thing where it's like it's a battle of attrition in the third set. So that will be different. I like Carlos in the matchup. I think a couple of things issues that Carlos presents that maybe Jannik didn't is the ability to extend the court, especially on the ad side to Novak, with that second serve that we were talking about earlier. He's going to be able to extend the court maybe 2-3 feet more on that ad side than even a Sinner, who has a really good serve, but not like that nasty kick that like basically buys position from Novak. And also, we say this ad nauseum, but when Novak's playing Sinner and he gets the ball down and through the court, he's not having to worry. His defense is like, okay, I'm back. I need to cover side to side. Carlos brings in, I need to cover side to side and forward both ways. And that drop can be hit behind Novak, right? So if he has a thing here and then Novak's running back to center, he can go, that's not, Sinner's improved on it big time, right? And he's brought that drop shot in. It's still nobody has the drop shot that Carlos does. If your body is tired and you're bringing in some scar tissue, which at 38 years old, I don't know how you don't bring in some leftovers from that match the other day against that masterpiece against Sinner, especially with that drop shot and the slices and the way that the variety of which he can kind of affect Novak's movement a little bit. And even if it's a little bit tired, listen, you never bet against Novak. I don't think it would be surprising. I know he beat Sinner. I think Carlos wins this match. And again, we talked about like Novak is the master at managing a match and being eyes wide open as far as what he can do and what he can't. But having to manage that and kind of make those trade-offs, narrow the margins, right? Like, I don't know that Carlos is going to go 2 for 18 on break points converted, which is the single biggest stat from that Sinner-Novak match. On top of his genius and mastery of managing it, 2 for 18, 0 for 8, I think, in the 5th set. That's not something you can count on. It's impressive when you can fight it off in retrospect, but that's not something that we can predict as like a normal thing moving forward, right? So I like Carlos in this match, assuming that his adductor is not like a tear or something that is crazy that I don't see or know. If you get out there and in the first set it's obvious he can't move, then we're guessing on the status of that.
Will Novak kind of test that early on? I mean, they're 5-4 in their head-to-head overall. Carlos bested him in the semis in 2025, but Novak beat him here in Australia in the quarters last year. I mean, it is still fairly close given the age gap. But do you think Novak will press that potential injury and test it early on?
Yes. You test it. You're going to have to make a move anyways. I mean, not testing it would be like, I'm going to hit it to him. Like that you just can't do it. I think he's going to mix in a bunch of serve and volley.
Yeah.
I think you can't drop shot someone when they're already at net, simply. I think he's going to do, I think he's going to mix up his return position. I think he's going to constantly kind of he's going to out Carlos. I think he's going to make him kind of think about what's coming next. I think he's going to run that second serve in on the body. I'm curious if, Carlos wants to slide and take that forehand or take that backhand return on the deuce side. We'll see. Novak's going to fight. He needs this thing to stay close, right? He was able to kind of keep Sinner. He needs to be able to pull Carlos into those like very tense moments in the match. Like he has to, if you tell me there's a scoreline of 3-3 and 4, I think that's Carlos. If you tell me it's going to end up and it's 7-6 in the 4th or 6-4 in the 5th, then I'm like, I don't know. Well, let's see. It's just absurd. But like also the significance of history in this match can't be understated. Novak adding to 24 slams. Like imagine having a conversation, or you guys weren't, but like 20 years ago, if you were like, yeah, someone's adding to 24 slams, you'd be like, okay. You're right, dude. It's absurd. And then Carlos, obviously, think of like the giants we've had in the game, ever, all time, but then specifically recently, to be the youngest to have ever won all 4 slams. Like imagine doing something better than everyone, these champions we've seen. It's crazy. Looney Tunes. And then like you look at Carlos, it's like, okay, like if he somehow gets this through this one, like how's he not the favorite at the like it's pretty fun to watch. I'm going to be excited for the cat and mouse. I think that Novak, he was opening up the shoulders big time on his forehand and it was landing him. Like his hit rate when he was being aggressive and ramping up the speed on his forehand was crazy consistent against Sinner. He has to do that again. Is his hit rate going to be the same as like almost perfect? It's a big ask. The ball comes through a little bit differently. So we'll see. That's going to be the two things. Is like, can he establish that forehand? Can he bully Carlos with that forehand? Can he mix it up enough? If Carlos gets in the groove where he's not really missing any returns, I think it's going to be tough. And first serve percentage for Carlos, big. It's not going to be 75% like a Jannik, I don't think. But that's going to be a big stat as well. I expect Novak to be pretty consistent with his serving. That's it, guys. You got any other brain busters?
I do have something that like blew my mind when I was looking something up. Is that Carlos Alcaraz, was born in 2003. Novak Djokovic made his turned pro in 2003. He won his first title in challenger title in May of 2004.
He won a challenger in 2004?
the same month that Carlos Alcaraz turned 1 year old.
Yeah. You sent me a thing.
I'm just saying.
You sent me a thing yesterday on our group chat. It was like, who's the king of longevity? Is it like LeBron? Is it Brady? Is it,
Yeah.
But also like Messi. I mean, it's crazy what these athletes are doing. But I also hate the premise of the question because it's like, who's the king of this? It's like, well, they're both really great at it. I don't know.
I mean, it's just crazy.
I don't know. Maybe the person who has an 11.5-month season. Thank you for watching Quick Serve presented by ServiceNow. We will see you tomorrow. Happy watching.
AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents.